What's up, Foxy people? Welcome back to my channel. It is laundry day in the Fox household, and when I say we have a lot of laundry, I mean I think everybody wears about 17 outfits in one day. It's a lot. Now, to be fair, the reason we have so much laundry right now is because the laundry room was out of commission for about a week while I remodeled the whole thing. Check out the remodel up here. It turned out absolutely gorgeous. But that meant our clothes piled up. Now, on a normal basis, even when we don't have a laundry room out of commission, we get a ton of clothes piling up. It's either not enough for me to waste doing laundry, like doing a load of laundry, and then all of a sudden it's like nobody has any clean clothes in their drawer. So before I go and separate all the clothes, I wanted to jump on here and explain to you how I do laundry and like my laundry system for a family of 6. It has come in very handy and has changed the way my clothes come out looking, if that makes sense. I don't know if what I've done has made the difference, but I've noticed a huge change in my clothes. I have learned a couple tips from Jordan Page. I will link her video or her channel down below. She's a mom of now 8. She just had twins, so she has a ton of mommy hacks and lifestyle hacks, and she's a budgeting expert. So she has a ton of videos all about that kind of stuff. She's amazing. I've watched every single one of her videos. So I have learned a couple tips from her, and then a couple tips just doing laundry over 20 years. So the main thing I learned from her is when separating your clothes, separate them by heavy or thick materials and light or thin materials, rather than separating them by darks and colors and whites, like I'm sure you all have been raised to do, because I know I was. Separate them by heavies and lights. The reason for this being, because if you have hoodies or these thick jeans in with underwear and t-shirts, these are going to take up all of the soap and the cleaning products and take away from the TLC that these absolutely need. So have like-minded things together is the way she explains it. So thin and delicate materials, and then thick, heavy, absorbent type material. So I separate my clothes into 4 categories. Heavies being jeans, jogging pants, any bottoms, any pants, active wear, yoga wear, athletic type wear, shorts, pajamas, because they don't need as much TLC and soap products than your underwear and that kind of stuff does. Sweaters and hoodies and any thicker materialed clothing. Second category being the light material. So this is basically t-shirts or shirts, socks, and underwear. Now, I don't know about you, but for years I have had a single sock graveyard, I call it. It's like 2 socks come off your feet, but only 1 sock comes out of the dryer. Anybody else feel my pain? I have learned a trick that has saved me from having a single sock graveyard. And as long as everybody takes the socks off together and puts them in the hamper, then at the end of the drying cycle, you will have a matching pair. The third category is whites. That's the only thing I separate by color, and that's because I use bleach on whites. Now, I will still separate socks and clothing, but I don't necessarily separate heavies and light materials in the whites, only because we don't have that many. It would be kind of a waste to do it that way. It wouldn't be a full load, especially with the heavies. And then my last category is towels, bedding, that kind of stuff. Jackets, anything that doesn't get washed all the time, or big bulky items. I use a laundry sorter that just happens to have 3 like compartments in it, so it works out perfectly. We can make one with heavies, one with lights, and one with whites, and then I just have a basket off to the side for towels, face cloths, that kind of stuff. I don't know about you, but I absolutely love doing laundry. I always have. I've even gone to friends' houses before to do their laundry. It's just something I've always loved to do, laundry and folding. But I know not everybody is like that. A lot of people completely dread laundry. So hopefully this video can give you some motivation to get that laundry pile done and make your laundry process a little easier so that it can be a little more enjoyable. So let's go down and sort through our clothes. So this is all the laundry I have to sort through. Like I said, the laundry room was out of commission for a little while, so the laundry has definitely piled up. So I'm gonna go through and sort everything, and I will show you exactly how I separate everything, like I explained in the beginning. But this is the laundry sorter we use. So I have one compartment for heavy or thick materials, one for lights, and one for white. And then these bags on the front I use for socks. Now, because we have a ton of laundry today, these are gonna overflow. So I do have extra hampers just laying off to the side just to hold them for the time being, okay? So let's get into some sorting. Put on a good show and get to work. So this is just a t-shirt. It's gonna go in the light section. Sweaters or hoodies, they're gonna go in the heavy section, but one tip that I have, if it's a zip up hoodie, always do up all the zippers. I've learned the hard way that if you don't do them all up, sometimes they get stuck in the washer and you'll lose the zipper. Also, make sure to check all the pockets. Jogging pants, actually any pants, go in the heavy pile because they're thick and you don't want the thick material taking away any soap and all that stuff from, say, underwear. That's gonna go in the light pile. This is a t-shirt, so it should go in the light pile, but because it's a pajama shirt, it's gonna go in the heavy pile because pajamas go in the heavy pile. Since they're not used for heavy duty stuff, they don't need as much soap and TLC as socks and underwear and light materials. Yoga or athletic wear, same thing. It's gonna go in the heavy pile. Even though they are thin material, they don't need as much soap and TLC. So socks are gonna, like I said, they're gonna go in these bags. And I will explain these once they're all full and let you know exactly how I use them. Does anybody else have this issue? It's just my boys that do it, but both the children and the adult boy, it's like they take their entire outfit off in one motion. So for me, not only do I always have to check the pockets of pants and hoodies, I have to separate the underwear from the pants and sometimes the socks as well. Same thing with their hoodies. I have to separate the t-shirt from the hoodie because they're gonna go in 2 different loads, as the hoodie is heavy and the t-shirt is light. So this is what I'm left with. Again, it's not usually this much, but the laundry room was out of commission for a while. So we have all the heavy right here. And then the lights are that one and overflow in that one. Whites, we don't have many white clothes. And then all the towels. The reason the heavies take up more space, yes, because we're wearing more in that category, like pants and hoodies, whereas here underwear, socks, and t-shirts are like smaller, but they're also thicker and bigger, so they take up more room. So when it comes to socks, the socks are going to go in with the light clothes because of the material that they are and because they need that extra TLC and soap. So I like to separate them in these bags because as long as they went into the hamper together, they're going to come out of the dryer together. So I have eliminated the single sock graveyard by implementing this system. So I will just take this off. Zip it up and throw the entire bag in the washer, and then throw the entire bag in the dryer. However, because this laundry load was so big, I have a lot of socks. I don't like filling this thing up too much because when they're compact, they don't have any room to move around and get cleaned properly and like aerate, right? They're kind of just all compact together. They're not going to get cleaned properly. So I really only like to fill this bag up about halfway. So I'll go through and I'll make sure that they're all spread out. They're not like rolled up in a ball, but they're all spread out. So I'll make sure to only fill it up about halfway, and then that way it has a whole bunch of space to move around and get cleaned properly. So I'll put the rest of the socks off to the side. I actually have extra bags of these, so what I'll do is I'll probably just use the second bag. But if you only have the one, just put it off to the side. You're going to be doing another load of light materials, especially when it's this big. So I'll just do that. The ones I put off to the side, I'll just do in the next light load. Usually all I use are pods. There's Tide Pod, Gain Pods. I personally like Gain Pods better, but I think any pods work the same. I like them because they have like pre-measured amounts of laundry detergent as well as fabric softener and stain remover. So sometimes people over soap their clothes, and if your clothes are coming out still kind of looking dingy, it might be because you're using too much soap, and that soap residue is just sitting on the clothes. So I like Tide Pods or Gain Pods because they pre-measure all the liquids that you need, and you don't have to worry about extra residue sitting on your clothes. I do use liquid detergent and fabric softeners sometimes. Usually I only use them for soaking items or like my towels and that kind of stuff. I don't know, I prefer, like I said, I prefer the pods, but with soaking things, obviously you do need to have some liquid detergent because the pods don't break down to soak, right? So for whites, I like to use just bleach and this OxiClean. Well, this is dollar store brand, but Oxyol Clean and Fresh. It's a stain remover and it helps make your whites come out looking super crisp and cleaner. And then I also do use a stain remover when absolutely needed. I'm gonna give you a couple tips on stains in just a second, but this is what I like to use. I like to use the Resolve brand. I find that it works perfectly for our clothes. We don't get many stains. I don't have super young kids that are rolling around in the grass as much. So we don't get as many stains. But when we do, I like to use this. Now, one other thing I really, really like to use is the Scentsy laundry system. I used to sell Scentsy, my mom still does, and I'm not trying to sell anything to you guys. I just honestly like the product, and I believe that it makes it gets your clothes very clean and it works. It's not one of those products to just slap the name on it and hope for the best. Like, it honestly does work. So in the system, and we have a whole bunch of this because this is what my mom swears by and uses all the time, but you get the fabric softener, the laundry detergent, the washer whiffs, like scent boosters if needed, and then even like they're called dryer discs. They work in place of dryer sheets, and they add extra scent to your clothing when it's being dried. They work as dryer sheets, so they do eliminate the static, but it also adds that extra scent booster to the drying of clothes. And yes, the price can seem kind of steep when, like, the whole laundry system I think is about 60 bucks. So when you can buy a bottle of laundry detergent for $5 or whatnot, like, it does seem kind of steep, but they last forever. You only need like 3 to 5 squirts of each, depending on how big and how dirty your clothes are. So again, I am not trying to sell you anything, but I honestly like the way that these work. I'm gonna pop a pod in. I am doing a load of the heavies just because that pile was so big and I need to get it through. So I only need 1 pod for it. I'm gonna turn on the machine. Now, I wash all my clothes on cold. Everything. Besides towels and bedding, I wash everything on cold water, even whites. So the reason I wash everything on cold is because heat sets stains in. So one tip to give to you is that if you do have an item of clothing that went into the wash with a stain, of course, use that stain remover. I like to write on the washer with a dry erase marker what item of clothing went in stained, so that when it comes out, I can check it. If it still has that stain and it goes into the dryer, once that heat hits it, the stain is going to be set in forever. You will never get it out. So I like to check it before. If it's still there, I'll rewash it. If not, good to go. So because the heat sets in the stain in the dryer, I personally believe that hot water will also set in the stain. Yes, I know people say that the hot water gets the stain out. I don't know. I believe, I might be crazy, but I believe that the cold water helps get out the stain. I've had stains go in with hot water before and it didn't come out. I also like the way my clothes come out looking. Ever since I switched to cold water, I feel like the colors are more vibrant and just everything comes out looking more crisp. Again, it might not even have anything to do with the temperature, but it's what works for me, so that's what I do. Now when it comes to drying, I know a lot of people use dryer sheets, as do I. Another tip I have is to rip them in half. This is more than enough that you need for your load. Again, if your clothes are coming out not so clean, it's possible that it has some buildup from the dryer sheets. As you can feel, they're waxy and filmy, right? So over time, clean out your machine as well, because over time, the waxy buildup, it builds up and it can ruin your machine, but it also sticks on your clothes. So you really only need half a dryer sheet. What I like to use are dryer balls. I'll link some down below off Amazon, but you just toss in a dryer ball. You can even use a tennis ball. It helps get in between the clothes and aerate them more so that the air can get through them and dry them quicker, more efficient on your energy bill. You can also put essential oils on these if you want to add some extra scent to your clothes. Or I use the Scentsy dryer discs because it lets off that extra scent to make your clothes smell nice and fresh. So now that they're all clean, they need to be put away. I used to fold all the clothes and put them away, and although I still fold them, I no longer put them away because I am kind of like OCD when it comes to that kind of stuff, and I would put them away all nice and neat and looking all cute, and then I'd go back a little while later to put away the next load and they would look like they'd been rifled through with no care in the world. So I gave up, and my new thing is I will fold them and I will put them in your room, and then it is your responsibility to put them away. I don't care how you put them away. I don't care how you take them out. As long as I don't see them, you do whatever you want to do. Now I do change my folding strategies depending on the situation we're in. Right now we are in our temporary home, and my husband has these really deep built-in drawers for his clothes. So I fold his clothes as well as my son's. I fold their clothes kind of KonMari-ish, but not like with my own little spin. And the funny thing is, I've been doing this long before KonMari came out. So when I saw the episode, I was like, huh, it's pretty cool. Glad I came up with it. My clothes personally, I always hang up everything. That's what I've been doing for years. I love it because you can actually see everything, and to me, when I had things in drawers, the things at the bottom would never be worn. I'd forget about them. So at least if they're all hung up, I can see them and I can like recycle through them quicker and better. So I hang up everything. My husband suffers for that sometimes, but he loves me. So although he has drawers right now, at our last home, he didn't. So I ended up getting him this cubby wardrobe system. I got it off Amazon. I'll link it down below. It's really cool. You can add on more cubbies if you want. You can do them however style you want. More hanging spaces, more cubbies. So because they were cubbies and like shelves, I couldn't necessarily do the KonMari-ish method. So I folded them what I call retail style. So as if you were at a store and we're looking at shirts on a shelf, that's how I folded his clothes in the cubby system, as well as my bonus kids clothes, because they're not here all the time. They don't have as many clothes as my son or me or my husband. I don't have to worry about saving space in their drawers because they don't have that many clothes here. So let me show you real quick how I fold our clothes. Okay, so let's start with shirts. So in the retail style folding method that I talked about doing with my husband's cubby system, or even my bonus kids drawers, all I do is, and once you do it enough times it gets a lot easier. I can just fold it real quick, but basically just fold in the sides, and it's really awkward to do at this position, and then fold it up, and you have like a nice square, and it's very thin so they can stack up no problem. Now in the drawers, like I said, my husband has very thick drawers, so I do it the KonMari-ish method. It's not 100% like she does it, but it is somewhat. It's still like the little tacos. So I fold it horizontally. Let's do it this way so you can see. So fold it horizontally, fold in the sleeves, and then I fold just like an inch, only in my husband's drawers because they're so thick, they need an extra little base almost. So I just fold the bottom up like an inch, and then fold them up halfway, fold it down, and then fold it in the middle, and then they stand up nicely. So my son's drawers I do the exact same way. So just fold it horizontally, fold in the sleeves. Now for his I don't have to do that extra like lip at the bottom, so I just fold it into the middle, down to the middle, and over. So you got a perfect little taco. It's not going to stand on the bed, but now long sleeves, same way. So fold in the sleeves. Now with long sleeves, especially because you're gonna get this extra little bunch here at the like armpit, one side is gonna be thicker than others. So the way I do it when I'm folding them is I'll rotate and alternate. So I'm folding this one this way, the next one I will fold this way. Get it? So that that big like bulge alternates sides and it's not like all stacking up unevenly. But the fold still goes the same way. Fold in the sleeves, fold up, fold down, fold in half. Perfect little taco. Now pants. I just lay them out. I'll tuck in like the crotch area, fold the legs up almost all the way, and then just fold 1 and 2. Now these stand up perfectly. Again, it's on a bed, it's not going to do it. Like my husband's jeans, same thing. Even with those deep drawers, this works just fine. So fold in the crotch area, pull the legs up almost all the way, pretty much like to the top of the pocket, and then 1, 2. Ha! It's standing. So shorts are the same thing. Obviously I don't have to do that fold in half horizontally because that half is missing. So all I do is just fold in the crotch a little bit, and then 1, 2. And yes, I fold underwear. I don't know, I'm weird. I just started doing it. Actually, my son's I've always folded. My husband's I've always somewhat folded to be put away nicely. Mine were always kind of just thrown in a drawer, and then I rifle through them. But then I decided I kind of wanted to keep them organized and nice and neat, so I came up with a way to fold them and keep them organized as well. So I'll show you that real quick. So my son has 2 kinds of underwear. He has like the boxer short type things, and then like the normal tighty whities form. So the boxer shorts are easy. You just fold them in half, and they pile up pretty nice because they're nice and thin. These ones, I just lay them out, fold them up, and then fold them in thirds. Now my husband's boxers, they're super easy. I just fold them in half and roll them. And there's a basket in one of his cupboards that just holds them all. Now as for my underwear, I have different, obviously women, you know, they come in all different shapes and sizes, right? But I still like having them all compact in one area. So same thing with my son's, like these are the bikini brief type ones. So same thing, I just fold them up, but instead, so I fold them in half this way and then roll them. And then I have dividers in my underwear drawer that they all go in. And you can do the same thing with thongs. You can do it with any type. Like booty shorts, any kind. So same thing, just lay it out. Fold them up in half. Fold them over this way in half. And roll. And if you want to know where I got all my cute underwear, check out Splendies. I have an Instagram story about it. So one last tip I want to share that I have learned, if any moms are dealing with bedwetting issues, whether it's potty training or a medical condition, you know that that smell kind of lingers and doesn't necessarily go away with just a quick wash in the laundry, right? We do have a child that had a medical problem that was causing bedwetting problems. They no longer are doing it, thankfully, but I mean, it's an accident, right? You can't really blame the child for that. But thankfully, I learned how to get rid of that smell. So this child has been taught that if they have an accident, they strip the bed, throw all the bedding and pajamas into the bathtub. I will fill it up with hot water and liquid laundry detergent, scent boosters, and 1 to 2 cups of vinegar. I really found that the vinegar is what is helping take that smell out. And I just let it soak for a couple hours. I was doing it before without the vinegar and it was still working, but there was still that slight smell in there. You just couldn't 100% get it out. And then I started doing it with the vinegar and it came out completely. And it makes your house smell real nice, especially if you have the scent boosters in there. So just let it soak for an hour or so and then wring it all out, throw it in the wash and wash it like a normal laundry load. And it comes out as if it's just normal bedding that went in for a wash. So there you have it, how I do our laundry in such a way that not only it makes the process easier, but has truly, I believe, truly made our clothes come out looking cleaner. Hopefully this gave you some motivation to maybe not hate laundry so much and get that pile of clothes hid in the corner, that pile of clothes piled up in the corner. Yes, I'm talking to you. You know what I'm talking about. Get those clothes cleaned and folded and put away, and you can thank me later. Make sure you're subscribed along so that you can follow all of my videos that I upload, whether they're Disney, Cricut, or lifestyle mummy hacks like this. Make sure you check out that laundry makeover. It came out so beautiful. Don't forget to like this video and comment down below. Let me know what kind of laundry tips and tricks you know or that you have been following that have made your process easier or maybe make your clothes come out cleaner. I love doing laundry. I would love to learn something new. So I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.